Finally, we made it.
Working for the weekend, and I want to see a show. I flip on the book of face. Yeah, I know where to go. There's a man over there into the music scene, showing lots of love for the community. With great advice, I know who I should go see. So all around town radio
Show.
That's where I go for the latest band info. So all around town radio show for the music that comforts my soul. It's the all around town radio show.
How y'all doing today? Welcome to the program. Sorry we're late. Compliments of the Book of Face as always on Monday. It never fails. It never fails. Mark Robinson from Sweet Sister Mercy. Tell them what we're doing this week right here at All Around Town Radio, if you will, buddy. How about right about now?
It's the Weekend Review.
Hi, Glenn.
Coming for you. Speaking with the fans, sometimes they don't show well. Whatever, man. Coming, who's playing out?
All right. Thank you, Sweet Sister Mercy, for that theme song. Jim Kilroy, Glenn in the house, Skip from Liars for Hire, Jamie Minnick. Jamie, the grocery cart picture was classic. It was. It was awesome. Who else we got checking in? Toy Hobbs in the house. Yes. Stephen Bell. How you doing, Steve, from Don't Tell Steve? Hi, Pam. How are you, my friend? Shane DeMoss in the house today on a Monday. Thank you from Until Rust fame and Shane DeMoss music. Ed Sawicki, the best photographer this side of the Mississippi. What's going on, Ed? I don't know, probably both sides of the Mississippi. Yes, I'm trying to bring a little sunshine to your life today here on a Monday. It is our weekend update, and we've got a lot to talk about. Had a big weekend. There's Chris Thompson. We're going to talk about him. Yes, and his kitty song. We will. Wes Williams in the house. Wild Bill, how are you? Good to see you. Bill and his videos. You all know Bill. If you don't follow his YouTube channel, he posts a lot of live music videos from around town. Jeff Morris in the house. Steve Stein from the Times and the Bee's Knees and anything else he plays in. He's a mercenary bass player. Hi, Gary. My resident Gene Simmons is here. Yes, wearing the Gamut shirt today, Glenn. Representing the Gamut today. Thank you to those who give me their shirts and let me wear them on the show. So that's good. Jim McCarthy in the house. Dewey Cole is here. Dewey. Steve from Timestamp. Good to have you with us as well. Hi, everybody. Welcome on a Monday, and thanks for tuning in here on this weekend update. If for some reason at the end of the show, we're going to call for you guys to say who you saw if you didn't put it on our page, because we had a whole lot of you comment on that post, but we've been busy and haven't had a chance to really respond to all of them. But we did see that some of you responded. So we've got a lot in store today. We had a big weekend. I finally edited some typos. I kept putting Saturday in for Friday on the page today, but you'll get the picture. My weekend was a little off with some things, but we had some fun out there with live local music, and we kicked it off on our Wednesday with our Name That Tune that we do every week at Heather's. We've only got 4 more regular season games of that left, and then there's the big final championship where the top teams will play in the championships on November 15th, and then we end for the season and come back again in May. So if you haven't been there, such as my friend Rick Maxwell from Overdrive finally got a chance to get out this past week. Thank you, Rick, for being there. And he had a chance to play, and we had a lot of fun with him and some other musicians in the house. Tim from Velvet Crush and Brandon from Party Punch playing with us, and a host of others, 25 teams worth of people that played. And that's only going to go on 4 more weeks, so keep that in mind, if you will. Hey, first of all, welcome today, guys, on this gloomy Monday here. But we had a great weekend of music despite the crap weather, and there were so many outdoor events that still went on, but man, the weather could have been so much better for an October weekend, and it just wasn't. The Sauerkraut Festival had tons of music. Operation Pumpkin in Hamilton, which we had on the show last Wednesday, they had a ton of music as well, and it's just a shame that that goes on. You know, hello, Jeremy. Thank you for being here. Thanks for dropping in. And yes, Gary thinks I'm going to be at Heritage Bank Arena Thursday night. Nope. Unfortunately, no, Gary. I am not. Unfortunately, no. But I will tell you that I was some places over the weekend. So welcome to your number one source for live local music news, bands, venues, and more. It's All Around Town Radio. Don't forget to hit the little share button on our programming throughout the week if you can, and give it to your music-loving friends. And because of those shares, we were back with a vengeance on Friday. Thank you. After being shut down on Thursday, the Thursday before, and only getting, and you all know that follow the show, how many views we get on that show. Normally we got 700. They just shut it right down and sent me a notice that I violated community standards, but couldn't tell me what it was. Gotta love these people, man. You try to do good, and it just doesn't always happen. And I know I bitch a lot about the Book of Face, but they need to hear it. They do. And this week, though, almost 4,000 views on that show. So thank you for that, guys. We appreciate it. And that's the one where we, if you're not familiar with our programming, we support all the venues and the musicians that submit to us, and we get it out there and put it on our list, as it's called, and we feature who's playing out. And that's always good stuff. Let's see who else is checking in. Hey, Blevins, how are you? Thank you for being here. And what else we got? Ditch is in the house. Glenn said he got to see Acoustic Blue at Rick's. Yeah, I saw some video from that. Looked great. Always good with Acoustic Blue. Mr. Mike Roberts playing with him, Ann and Brian. And who's the bass player, Glenn? Who's the bass player? If you can comment. I don't know him personally, but I would like to, because they're great people. Tom Parsons in the house, Under the Sun represented today. Hi, Cody. Thank you for being here from the summit. Appreciate you dropping by today. Give us a shout out, guys. If you're out there, let us know where you are. I want to talk about some things that went on this weekend, though. We had a great time, super time. And thank you to Froggies for Thursday sponsorship. Like I said, our Wednesday at Heather's was fantastic. Then on Thursday, kicked it off with some fun. And went to see David Thornton at Heather's on the patio. Took a little week off. Oh, their son Aiden. Thank you, Jamie. All right. Appreciate that. And Glenn, I'll get to your comment here in a minute. Want to say, though, that makes sense now. Ann and Brian's son Aiden. All right. Just want to say that there's so much music to choose from, and I try to bounce around and see as much as I can. And in the summer months, I tend to talk a lot about Mr. Burroughs and Heather's and North Park and places like that are 5 minutes from my house, and I can see a variety of music. And that's kind of my disclaimer. I get some people that get a little tight-jawed at me, like, why didn't you come to our show and this and that? I do my best to get everywhere and try to get on here and talk about some of you. And some are repeats that I've seen before, some are not. And the reason I go to repeats is because I enjoy the show so much. And David Thornton is one of them. I hadn't seen him in a long time. I used to frequent David Thornton's acoustic shows. And David does a fantastic job by himself as a solo artist. He's one of those guys that plays the harmonizer, the looper, the things like that, but he does it with dignity. He doesn't overplay it. Man, he just knows how to use that looper, especially. So he can play tunes that normally an acoustic person wouldn't even attempt. Pink Floyd and things like that that David does. His vocals are fantastic. His guitar work is stellar. And David was at Heather's on the patio. And, it was a decent night, but, man, where was everybody? You missed out on a great show. There was a lot of empty seats in that place, and that wasn't David's fault. That's not Heather's fault. It's just the time of the season. Lots going on, but man, he should have had a much bigger crowd there that night, because he is one of those one-of-a-kind artists that you have to go see. If you haven't seen him play, you need to go see David Thornton play. And his set list is such a variety of music, and it's everywhere. And, David teaches guitar, and he is just a phenomenal person and individual. We have so much fun when we go see him. And those of us that were there, we had a great time. And Sean just popped in there and says Thornton is awesome. Yeah, Sean runs the Milano's up there that does music on in Miami Township every Wednesday night. And David played there a week or so ago, I think. And he kills it. He's just a phenomenal guy and a great guy. And yeah, really good. Thank you, Glenn, for that comment. I appreciate that. As Jamie said, their son. I've not seen that version of Acoustic Blue. I only saw it with Ann, Brian, and Mike. And anytime you see those folks, it's a quality time. It is. But a little more about David Thornton. It was funny. There was this fella in the audience who was a little under the influence, I think. I'll say that out loud because he was a bit, he was telling some great stories, about Backstage and all these shows and all this. Don't know if they were real or not, but he was telling me a lot of great stories. But one thing I'm going to comment on is etiquette with a band. And maybe this should be a Hot Topic Tuesday topic, but David took a break after playing about an hour and 45 minutes. He took one little short break and he started to get off the stage. And here comes this guy hopping up on the stage, wanted to tell stories to David and talk. And he picks up David's guitar. Now, anyone knows there's guitar etiquette in the world if you are around bands and this and that. And if anyone offers for you to touch their guitar, that's one thing. But don't just go up and grab it off the guitar stand and pick it up. Because especially when you've been having a few adult beverages, that I saw that happen and I was just mortified by it. And I'm thinking, dude, do not do that. What if he dropped it and broke it, and David he's not a slouch. He's not playing, a $300 Yamaha guitar. I guarantee you that. He's playing some quality instruments and you just don't want to do it. And Jamie wants to know, well, Jamie, we feature his gigs every Thursday. You can hear that on our show, but he plays all around. He plays especially in the Middletown area, and he plays Grainworks down in Westchester, down by you a little bit, and places like that. So if you want to catch David Thornton, that'd be a good place to tune into him. He's a lot of fun to sit and listen to if you just want to go relax and have a good night of music. He's a wonderful, wonderful player and individual. Hi, Jonathan Grooms. Thank you for joining us today. Speaking of badass bass players, right there's Jonathan Grooms in the house. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you being by today. So Thornton was great on Thursday. Again, Heather's always a great place to go for live music. And she's only got a few more weeks left, 4 more weeks left of that there. And so get out and support Heather's because it gets pretty lean there in the wintertime because it's just a little coffee shop and those kind of things. So certainly keep that in mind and help boost Heather's winter income. It's like feeding a bear, it's one of those things. She's got to fatten up before winter. And let's take care of Heather's a little bit and do that if you can. And Rob says Grainworks Brewing Company. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for answering Jamie on that as well. Hello, Carolyn. Thank you for being here. You guys are all great people. Thanks so much, guys. And let me back up. I talked about David Thornton on Thursday, but I want to go back to last Tuesday when we announced that big $101,000 collection and charity event we had at the Bell and the Bear. Thanks to Karis. We had 5,000 views on that show. Thanks to all of you for sharing the love there and that kind of stuff. Thanks so much for making that so popular and making what Karis and I do popular on Tuesdays, which is Hot Topic Tuesday. And we send us your ideas via direct messenger, or as Karis likes to say, slide into our DMs and send us something here at All Around Town Radio. If you have a topic that you'd like us to feature. Now, remember, we like those hot topics that are a bit edgy, controversial, or spread joy and judgment, as we like to say. So tune in. It's also National Breast Cancer Day, guys, ladies and gentlemen. If you know anybody that's been afflicted with that, our prayers are certainly with them, and hopefully they will be able to come to a complete recovery. We did an event we'll talk about on Saturday night here in just a few minutes that had to do with that. Who else we got checking in today? Retroactive Band in the house. I hope you had a great weekend too. Thank you for being here. Patrice, hola, good to see you. Haven't seen you in so long. Hope you're doing well. So we're going to move on to our Friday. And at the end of the show, I'm going to take comments from you guys if you want to throw comments in there about who you saw over the weekend, if you didn't do it already on our page this week where we called for it. But we'd love to talk about Friday night for just a minute. Here's a repeat performance, close to home, and for those of you new to the show that know, I have some eyesight issues going right now that are they're kind of touching me on certain times and of driving far at night, and that's why I'm not going a big distance, but I stay pretty close to home and try to catch some great music. And I got to see a new band for me on Friday night at Heather's on the patio, and they were called A Vicious Cycle. Now, never in my life have seen them. I'll say that. I've heard about them, never seen them. Had no idea that a gentleman I've known for, 30 some plus years, Nick, was playing guitar. And man, I didn't know Nick could play guitar. He's as Mike Miller from Party Punch said with me, he's one of the most underrated guitarists locally. He's fantastic. A Vicious Cycle was just off the hook good and so much fun. If you're a fan of the 90s, 2000, early 2000s alt rock scene, Stone Temple Pilots, people like that, this band is for you. Vocals pristine, band tight as could be, and you can tell they put a lot into their craft. They did a great job, and Jeremy, thank you for that. Vicious Cycle was great Friday. He said, I agree 100%. And they had a good crowd on the patio there at Heather's. Friday night was a good night out and a lot going on, and there's all kinds of stuff going on out there on Fridays. Friday night football with the high school kids, all that stuff, parents doing that. And it's good that you can get a crowd on a Friday night, especially at a larger venue like Heather's, the big venue. And Vicious Cycle, they brought a lot of their fans. You could tell there were a lot of people that knew them. And I was sitting next to a couple of guys that we were chatting a little bit about how good they were. And one of the guys had never seen them before as well. And just a quality band. I hope to get them on the show someday and be able to interview them a little bit and introduce them to people, because we try to get them on a Wednesday with the band, because I didn't get a chance to meet many of them that night. I just got a chance to say hi and watch their show, get a few crappy photographs that I took that were terrible. My photos are awful, guys. I apologize for that. But part of that is I can't see. And the other part is the lighting. And, when you're using a phone, that's the way it goes. And Rob says, great lead guitarist. Rob, if you know the names of the guys in the band, would you throw it up there? I don't know if you know them or not, but would love to hear it. Or if somebody else does out there, the guys in A Vicious Cycle. I didn't get a chance today. I didn't have time to reach out to them. I wish I could have. But I would love to mention them by name. I know Nick, who played guitar. It was nice to see Mike, the bass player of Party Punch, sitting in the audience as well and doing his thing there, watching them play. And they were a great band. People were into it. Man, there was some cheering applause. And it's not often you hear the crowd really roar at a show anymore, especially at some of our local venues. This crowd was focused on them, and they played some songs that were just super good, and everybody loved it. So if you haven't seen A Vicious Cycle, follow them on the Book of Face. If you like that, era, like I said, of Stone Temple Pilots and such in there, jump on it. You'll love the band, and I plan to see them again. I'd like to see a whole show. I split Friday night up a little bit, and want to thank Heather's for the hospitality as always when I'm there on Friday night. Their staff is just off the hook good, and they're really good people there at Heather's, and we enjoy going there and watching live music. And I feel a bit like Norm when I walk in and they have my drink ready for me. But I have a little signature drink there named after me called the Hall Pass. If you haven't tried one, try it. It may sound weird to you, but when you see the ingredients, try it. You'll like it. And I don't get a cut of that, so don't think I'm selling it. Dewey, that's your era, man. You'd love this band. I'm telling you. And the vocalist, and I had people telling me they'd seen them numerous times and they just keep getting better and better and better. So that's always good to hear that a band's putting effort into it. They're not just going through the motions. And yes, Lynn said Friday night, Kara showed up at Belterra Park to see Gina and Johnny. Well, that's good. She's supporting those who support her. And Gina and Johnny do a lot for her business as well there, especially when they play on Wednesday nights. And speaking of Gina and Johnny, they're going to be on the show Wednesday live with me at noon. Gina and Johnny live at noon on Wednesday with the band. Would love to have you tune into that one. Thank you, Martin. Yes, $101,000 raised, Martin, in that event in one day. And it's because of a labor of love for a lot of people. We were the ones that announced it, but certainly it was absolutely a team of folks that made that happen. And of course, you can't discount the matching funds that went into that from Brian and Kelly Peters, who took it way over the top this year. So yeah, any charity, especially the one that was for women helping women, would be proud to have that amount of money land in their lap after one day event. And that's one of the biggest events I've ever done fundraising wise. I've done Autism Rocks and a lot of others, and I tell you, that's one of the biggest ever. So thank you, Martin, for that comment. Colleen, thank you. And appreciate that. And yes, Colleen, I understand that. And we wish you well as well. And I'm glad you're a 6-year survivor. And we'll talk about that here in just a minute. Hi, Pete Johnson. Thank you for dropping by today. So Vicious Cycle, wonderful stuff. Props to Nick for his guitar playing. I had no idea he was a guitar player. He and I worked in the same profession for years. Both of us retired now from that profession. But Nick, man, wow. He was a killer guitar player. And the whole band, though, the whole band's great. And like I said, not necessarily the era of music that I listened to back in that day, because I was involved. I owned a club in that day and we played dance music, and I was more into House of Pain, Jump Around, and those kind of things in the club than I was into STP and those bands. But they have stood the test of time, and these guys were playing it and playing it well. And it's good to hear all those familiar tunes come back around that were in the 90s and the early 2000s. So also round number 2 on Friday night, I want to talk about Uncle Rico for a minute. Oh my, Uncle Rico is a party. And you know, one thing I like here about Uncle Rico, they don't oversaturate themselves. They are not all full-time musicians, which is, it's a help, honestly, in some ways. Not knocking any full-time musicians out there. You guys doing your thing. You do it well. But this is one of those bands that when they play, people turn around and go see them because they don't play that often. So everybody wants a chance to catch them. And I've got to back up for a second. Thank you, Rob, for that. Fred Lopez, lead vocals. Nick Andrews on lead guitar, vocals. Brian Simmons on guitar. Dave Bowden on bass. And Scott Vandersusen. There's Vanderson on drums. Thank you for that, Rob. I appreciate it. We'll leave that up for a minute. That's Vicious Cycle, guys. Go follow their page if you haven't yet. And David Thornton's. And Rico Dayton, which is the page on the Book of Face for Uncle Rico. Jim Bodish leading that band. Jay Grant on guitar. Bob Stumbaugh on bass. Chris Thompson playing the drums and singing like a bird. And John Hay on keyboards. And what a great band. So much fun. They had extremely packed place at Mr. Burroughs Tavern on Friday night. And Jimmy is one of the best frontmen I've known for years and years. He's got a style like none other. He played in bands back in the day called 33 People. He was in all kinds of bands. But Jim Bodish, man, he is a good, solid frontman with wonderful, wonderful, wonderful talent of connecting with the audience. And yeah. Brad says Uncle Rico is such a great band name. It is. What's up, Kenny Patterson? Thank you for dropping in today. And Uncle Rico had all kinds of hits. And you know what I forgot to do? I'm so stupid. I had a whole list of stuff. I'm going to go back after I talk about Uncle Rico. I want to talk about some of the songs I heard with the band Vicious Cycle too. I want to do that. I'm all over the place today, guys. It's a Monday. You can tell. But Uncle Rico, Jim J, Bob, Chris, John brought the party. Chris did a song I always love to hear him do. It's Prince's song, and I'll just say it so I don't get kicked off the internet. I'll say Kitty Control, if you know what I'm talking about. Nobody type that in the comments, please, the real name, because I'm on double secret probation right now. We were given a 24-hour kickoff and that kind of thing that I had to appeal and do all that. So please don't send us over the edge. But Bodish up front, gosh, Jay Grant, congratulations, Jay, on your recent marriage. And the rest of the guys in the band, such good people and fun people. The sound was great. Everything was happening right at Mr. Burroughs Tavern with Uncle Rico, and a variety of tunes that are just fun party tunes that the crowd gets into and loves to dance to. And Had a chance to see our friends Hope and Don who were there, and Maggie, aka Trixie, for the night, and everybody else at Mr. Burroughs. There was a host of people there. Tony and Deb, if you're watching, they were there, and a really, really great time, and fantastic, just fantastic. And we love Uncle Rico. So they did play back-to-back nights, and that's unusual for them. They played at Spellbrook in Bellbrook on Saturday night. But Friday night, they turned on the party at Mr. Burroughs Tavern. Brought you some fantastic tunes. Hey, Chris Will, how are you? Thank you. Ojo Risen in the house. Johnny, I did not. I do want to say, though, let me give you some of the songs that Vicious Cycle did. So those of you that were asking about them and haven't heard them, it was Rooster, Alice in Chains, Weezer song, Red Hot Chili Peppers, let's see, Cake, Candlebox, Far Behind, Creep, Radiohead, Stone Temple Pilots. Let's see what else I had on the list. Cracker, let's see, more Alice in Chains. Oh, gosh. Perfect Circle. Gosh, how many? Wonderful, wonderful. Just, I had a whole lot of them written down here, but it was great. My Sharona by the Knack. Yeah, how about that? Who does that anymore? So really fun band. Lenny Kravitz. Yes, lots of good tunes. Thank you for that, Mr. Rob. So there's our update on Friday. Now let me shift gears and go to Saturday real quick. And again, I'm going to take yours. So start throwing them in the comments. If you saw somebody play over the weekend you want to recognize live today, throw it in the comments. We got about 5 minutes left to hit it up here. Want to talk about Saturday? I hosted an event at Max Tavern in Centerville. It was for the Pink Ribbon Good. That's formerly known as Pink Ribbon Girls. They are now a nationwide company that provides services to people that have cancer, and certainly women, especially with breast cancer. They provide rides to doctor's appointments. They provide meals. They provide support, in-home cleaning. This group is one of the best groups. I've worked with them for, countless years, probably almost 20 years. And Pink Ribbon Girls, a.k.a. Pink Ribbon Good now, as it's known in the national branding. Pink Ribbon Good had an event. My friend Mary Beth asked me to come to. She was running the event at Max Tavern, and we had an absolute blast. We threw some music trivia in there. We did 80s, 90s night. We had one round of songs you have heard in 80s movies, which was a blast. We did some question answer stuff about the 80s and 90s at the end, and the folks there were super people. They gave so much. We had raffles, baskets to give away, everything you could imagine. 50-50, split the pot, that kind of thing going on. And a big giant gift card raffle that had a basket full of gift cards valued at over $500. It was $20 a ticket to get in that. What a win if you won that one. And so, just so much stuff going on. And I want to thank Mary Beth for having me there. And I'm a huge supporter of the especially breast cancer awareness and the Pink Ribbon Girls and Pink Ribbon Good program. So I was glad I got a chance to be a part of that on Saturday night. My Sunday, I delivered the firefighters' prayer at the Firefighters Memorial at Stubbs Park in Centerville, Ohio. It's an annual event that honors those lost in the Miami Valley area that we've lost in the fire service in the line of duty. And I always take part in that ceremony every year in August, second Sunday in August that it is. And had a chance to deliver the what's called the last alarm, so to speak. And read the words from Taps. And that was an honor to be a part of that at Stubbs Park. A little chilly this year, a little windy, a little misty. But we were honored by those, especially loved ones of those lost that came out to honor their loved one and read their name and ring the bell. So that was my week, and I appreciate all your support for that, guys, and everybody that came to those events. There's David Thornton. We talked to you about you at the beginning of the show. I did mention our little feller who came up and grabbed your guitar. Don't do that, people. That's wrong. That's wrong. So we're taking comments now on who you saw over the weekend. If you didn't get it on our page earlier, Thursday Jam, Bill went to CFG and the Family at Operation Pumpkin, Bedford Band at North Second Tap and Bottle in Hamilton. Awesome stuff. And Casey Gomez turned you onto them. All right. Well, Casey Gomez is a great guy. He really is. Glenn got to see Don't Tell Steve at Hollywood Casino. Did I even announce that one last week? Did I even have that one? I don't know that I had that one. Yes. What's going on? Mary Beth, we were just talking about you as well. So thank you if you're just joining us. And I appreciate you dropping in on the program here about our weekend in review. So if you did see somebody play, you want to acknowledge, throw it in there real quick. I got a couple minutes left, and we'll do that. I want to remind you tomorrow, Hot Topic Tuesday at 5 with the lovely co-hostess with the mostest, Karis, who will be here. And yours truly will bring you some joy and judgment. It's a house of pain. Every Tuesday, it is. Wednesday with the band this week, Gina and Johnny will be on at noon. Looking forward to that one. I want a little backgrounder on that. We're going to press them for some hard questions that day, guys, so be here. Learn more about Gina and Johnny and how that came to fruition. And Thursday, Who's Playing Out, brought to you by our friends at Froggy's in Monroe, where we feature the best musicians in the tri-state and where they're playing. And I want to thank Max Tavern for being such gracious hosts on Saturday night, as well as we were talking about that PRG event that we did. Thank you, Mary Beth. I had so much fun doing that event. And thanks for saying I rocked it, because that's my goal, is to make sure you make money and we have fun. And I think they made some good money that night off their raffles and such to support a wonderful cause. And Mary Beth, thank you for your tireless efforts for that organization. Mary Beth had breast cancer and was given a lot of help from the PRG back in the day, and she gives back to it now. And I think that's very admirable that she gives back to that organization as she does. So thank you, my friend Mary Beth. You're a wonderful person, and glad to have you on here today. Guys, again, if you've got anybody you want to acknowledge, I saw Jamie talking about Acoustic Blue, Rockstar, Flatline, Mad Hatter, Jetpack Academy, and stays in Vegas. Jamie, you need a night off. You need a night off tonight, I think. You were busy this weekend. You were busier than I was this weekend. So good for you. And you got to see some great people. And I've not seen Jetpack Academy either. I announced them on our show on Thursday, but I didn't get a chance to get there. I had a gig on Saturday, so I didn't get down. And of course I did, by doing that event at Max Tavern, I missed the last show of Mad Hatter. And I'm sorry to those guys. I missed that show. I got a nice invite from them about it. And, you know, Mad Hatter's even played my birthday party before. They are just great guys, and they'll be missed. I hope they come back in some shape or form someday and play again and do a reunion or something, because Mad Hatter are a wonderful, wonderful band. Absolutely. And let's see what Johnny's got to say. Ricky Glam celebrating 10 years cancer-free. All the money at the door went to St. Jude's. Thank you for that. Packed house. There you go. Thank you for that report. Rockstar killed it Friday at Club Trio. Jason said, thank you for that. Toys in the house. Hung out with Jamie Minnick at the Rockstar show. Went to see Steve and Saturday at JD Legends with Mad Hatter. Thank you for that, Toy, from Rockstar. Thanks for being here. And Toy, thanks for just hanging out and helping out at the Bell and the Bear last week for that event. You guys are great people, and we appreciate you very much. So again, guys, we'll see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock for Hot Topic Tuesday. Join Karis and I. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about, even this week, we haven't decided yet. If we get a good one, we may change what we're thinking. So send it in. Send it via DM, and we'd love to hear from you. And I'd love to have your topic featured. And if you don't want your topic, your name mentioned with the topic, just say it when you send us the message, and we won't. Because we know some of you like to just fly under the radar. And David, thank you for giving us a great show. Those of us that were there on Thursday night, giving us a great show. And it was good to see you too and chat with you, buddy. I wish I could come to more of your shows. You're just fantastic. And again, as I was telling Jamie, you're out there. You love to go see music. Go see David Thornton and find him near you, especially when he's down like at Grainworks Brewing and those kind of places. They're close to you. So go see him and check out his show, as they say. Guys, we're getting out of here today, but thanks again. I'll see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock with the lovely Karis right here at All Around Town Radio. Until then, if you're taking a night off, get some rest. If you're not taking a night off, go see some live local music and the bands and venues that bring it to you guys. Thanks so much. Thanks, Chris Thompson. Thank you, man. Anytime for you guys. I love Uncle Rico. So much fun. And thanks for that song, Chris. I know you give Jimmy a break and sing that song. That's good stuff. Thank you.
go. There's a man over there into the music scene, showing lots of love for the community. With great advice, I know who I should go see. So all around town radio show is where I go for the latest band info. So all around town radio show for the music that comforts my soul. It's the all around town radio.